Hey everyone, it's John Joseph from the East Center. Today with Houston Blackwood, a Workforce Director of the ACCS Innovation Center. Houston, good to be with you today.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us. This is a cool space, man. All of you really need to check this place out. It's an awesome space. So I want to talk to you today about the training programs that you offer for people. I mean, they're amazing. And I feel like for a lot of people who might feel stuck, they can come here and they're one opportunity, one decision away from changing their lives. That's what you enable. So I want to talk to you today about the programs you offer, the jobs that are there. And so just wanted to start and ask if you could give people an overview of the Innovation Center, what you do here, what's going on.
Sure. Yeah, so we are part of the community college system. So most folks call it junior college, or community college now, but the system has 24 different campuses around the state, over 130 locations. We are a separate entity and we build curriculum at the pace of industry, request of industry, any industry. But we build that curriculum and then give it to the colleges so it's consistent and it's repeatable anywhere in the state. So if you get CDO training or skid steer training in Mobile, it's the exact same thing you get in Jackson County, on the far corners of the state. And so what that gives our students, our colleges, they can serve any community quickly, but also consistently.
I gotcha. So if I come in here and I want to learn about the different fields I can get training for, you just mentioned a couple, but could you speak a little bit more to just some of the different fields that people come and get training for so they can get into good jobs?
Sure. We started with food and beverage or hospitality and tourism after COVID. The coastal areas were smashed for help, and the economy was not ruined, but they were the first ones to come to us. That was our first course. So we have food and beverage, hotel operations, and even barista, which is one of my favorite jobs that people do. Especially here in Decatur, we have 3 new ones on the way in. So we started with hospitality, and then transportation and logistics. So we do CDO drivers, Class A, Class B. Those are the long trucks and the short trucks. So everything that moves to you or away from you comes with a commercial driver.
Okay.
Right? And then of course all the construction. So you have 4 different heavy equipment machines. You have carpentry helper, electrical, plumbing, flooring. Right. So if you're looking to get into construction at all and you don't have the skills, like you get one of those and they get you in the door. Moving into healthcare, we have mental health worker, community health worker, nurse support tech. Nurse support tech is in a hospital setting. They support the nurses, but they take care of patients directly. They're supervised and delegated from the nurse constantly. And then we're constantly moving into like wastewater operator, so into some infrastructure jobs. So really there's a space for everybody, even customer service. If you just aren't good with people and you want to get better, right? So we have literally a spot for everybody.
Cool. So you want to learn how to make coffee better, you want to learn how to lay flooring, you want to learn how to drive a big truck. You can do all of that through your training programs.
That's right, and that's some. That's not exclusive.
That's just some.
Yeah, that's some of them.
So talk to me about, people want to make that one decision, they want to get their life on a different track. Is this 10 years? How long is this going to take?
Well, that's the beauty of what we do. It's fast. Literally, you could start with a registration today, and if things were planned well, you could be in a lab on Thursday, Friday, after doing the theory this week, and then you could be connected to an employer on Friday, and maybe start work, at their process. So you're talking weeks. So sometimes it takes months because of hiring schedules and lab schedules, but it's rapid. Designed so that you don't have to take semesters or years, right? You get in, you take the course, we connect you to an employer, and you move on.
You're trying to get people to work.
To work, yeah. And I'm from K-12. I worked in the college system. We obviously like people to have diplomas and degrees. Those help. But sometimes you just need a job, like now. And you need something better than retail or fast food. Love those places, but they don't always give the best wage for a family. So we build them so folks can get in, get out, go to work.
Yeah. All right. So, I know you. A lot of people know what you do, but for the people who don't, let me ask the question that's on their minds.
Sure.
But are there really jobs? Are there really these good jobs that I can come here and train for pretty quickly and get into and start to build a different type of life for myself? And are those jobs really out there?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. We don't build a course unless there is high demand. And so we actually go through several extensive resources to make sure that the jobs really exist, including Indeed and another thing called Lightcast. But we match up what employers are asking for versus what the government says the data is. And so if it's a low demand job, we don't build it.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, like a tow truck driver, you think they don't need training, but they do. But at one point that wasn't really a need, and now 3 years later, those folks have retired. And so we only build a course if there is a high demand.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then, to the point of jobs, once it's over, once your course is over, we connect you to an employer in some way. So you don't have to go out there and just try to, put your certificate to use. We connect you with somebody or somebody's.
So you're saying you're not even going to look at creating a training course unless employers have convinced you
Right.
they need people.
Well, that's right. And even more so, like, not only do they tell us that they need, 400 people this year, they tell us what needs to be in the course. So when we go back to them and say, hey, here are 10 completers from the course you helped us build, it works.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then once I finish the course, you're now helping connect me to the employers. I'm not just on my own, go start applying online. You're helping connect me to the employers because you know the employers.
Right. The colleges have their own network. Every region is different, every service region. But we have encouraged the colleges and given them the network to find all the employers for all the courses. So if they run a lab, there has to be an employer connected to it in some way. The employer comes, there's a career fair, there's a hiring fair, or they get articulated credit so they can just go back to school if they want to, if really a job is not the option. So we make an effort to make sure that folks have a job opportunity. Everybody doesn't get hired, because maybe it's just not a good fit for the company. But there's somebody out there that wants to hire these students, regardless.
I gotcha. And, I think people understand that you make different amounts of money in this job versus that job versus that job. But can you speak a little bit to wage ranges? It's not really a fair question because it depends on the job. But people can earn more money than they might be earning now through a lot of these trainings. Is that a fair statement?
Very fair statement. So it also differs by region. You'll make more as a server on the coast than you would in Fort Payne, Alabama.
Okay.
Right? You understand that. But in Fort Payne, Alabama, you can make a lot of money working construction, running heavy equipment. So we try not to we look at the demand for the jobs, but then we also look at the pay rates.
Yeah.
If it's not living wage or better, we try to say high wage, but we have so many jobs that are in like the $16 to $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Which you think, well, is that good money? Yeah, it's really good money. If you're 18, 19, 20, and you're single, $20 an hour is a lot of money.
Okay.
It's roughly $40,000 a year. So we build the courses with that in mind. But for our heavy equipment, it's common for the students that have our certificate from a college to get a couple dollars more an hour.
Okay.
And that's the entry level. And after some time, and you show up and you work hard, it doesn't matter the industry, people get raises quickly. But you start off. Think about our courses. You start off ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not just entry level with nothing. You're entry level with some knowledge and some skills. And so the ranges differ. I'd say probably right now construction, carpentry, electrical, fiber optics are even CDLs. Those are the highest paid courses.
Yeah.
Some of the others, it just depends. They're typically a service job. NST is not. You're not going to make a lot of money with NST, but it's a very good living wage and almost a guaranteed job.
Yeah. Okay. And just so last lap here, talk to me about the cost. So is it $50,000? Like this sounds good. Like I want to get a new job. You can train me. They're for jobs that already that exist and there's a need for them. It's fast. You're connecting me to employers. Feels like there's a catch. Like tell to me about the cost.
There should be a catch, but there's not, John. So it's no cost. So we are funded by the state of Alabama legislature, going in our 5th year. So everything we offer is at no cost for the training. Now, commercial drivers, there are permits and DOT physicals and some things, maybe about $300.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no cost. And so literally you come in, you register, you take a course, it didn't cost you anything, it's really rapid, we connect you to an employer, and you should be set up for a life-changing career moment, right? A new career maybe. A job, but certainly a career option. So I always save the no-cost part to the end because people are like, wow, what does this cost? Well, you won't believe it, but it's free. It's no cost. But that was the thing. The chancellor said, you know, in 2020, we need something that's quick, that's relevant, and it's got no barriers. And so we
Way to
did.
go, Chancellor.
Way to go, Chancellor. Yeah, he and the NFIB, Small Business Association.
Mhm.
But we said, okay, we can do that. And our colleges have ran these courses, and we've served almost 60,000 people in really in 4 years. You know, 40-something courses. So there's a young person, or the person that's re-entering society, or a person that's starting over. There's something for them, and it's quick and it's affordable.
One decision away.
It really is. If they want to learn more, they can go to trainforalabama.com.
Okay.
It's real simple, and on there you can click on students or employers, and that's good for the employers that see it too. Like they can train their own people, upskill who they've got in the door. But trainforalabama.com has all the courses, the sequence, what they're going to learn, you know, where the courses are offered, and a lot more information.
And you're here at the statewide innovation center for the whole system here in Decatur.
Right. We are housed in Decatur, but we service the entire state of Alabama.
Absolutely.
So if you're in Epps, Alabama, or Dothan, or anywhere else, we serve them.
That's right.
Yeah.
And Morgan County. That's where we are.
Especially Morgan County.
So,
right. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Houston, thank you, man. This
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, John Joseph.
Thank you.
Appreciate
See
it.
you. All right. Bye, everybody.